how to make 1000 flat tips. In this video I'd like to show you how we make our flat tips. Let's say we need to make 1000 tips. In this case we would need about just over a kilo of hair. We prefer in this video to use 26-inch long virgin hair, and the dimensions of flat tip is gonna be 5 to 5 millimeters, which means width is gonna be 5 millimeters and the height of tip is gonna be 5 millimeters. The keratin melting tool is available through famous shops like Amazon or eBay. It's like $20 or less. And the keratin, the white granules, are also available through those shops. You can easily order them online. So as you see in here now, we use usually 3 small tiny pieces of these granules. Simply you just put them on the melting tool for about 5 seconds, and then here you go, it just melts quickly, and start tipping the hair. You see those white dots and marks? Usually it's air between hair and the glue. When you press firmly with your fingers, those air is gonna come out, and then you've got very smooth, natural, fine looking tip hair. And it's very easy to hold the bundle, a hair bundle, and then get those portions which is required for tipping. As you see in here, how she's getting very tiny amount of hair strands for tipping. You're gonna get used to that. There's like 20 strands, 25 strands on each tip, and the weight of each tip is about 1 gram or a bit less. When pressing the keratin, the hot keratin, be careful, it could be extremely hot and you could burn your fingers easily. So I would suggest you to wait a few seconds before you touch them with fingers and just experience it. It's a bit dangerous to touch them immediately once you apply the keratin on the hair. You would just need to allow like 2 seconds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. You will get used to it. And then never hold it with your fingers. Never ever hold it. Just look at her fingers. Press and release very quickly. You do not want to be holding the tip. It's gonna be extremely hot. It's like over 100 Celsius degrees, the temperature usually on these melted glues. as you see in here, the tip itself is really long. However, the width is about 5 millimeters. Well, the reason this tip is so long, anyways, it's going to be cut once we finish all the tips. We're going to cut the top and then make the height of tip is about 5 millimeters. The reason she's now, spreading the glue so high because the hair is not aligned well. So sometimes we do spend some time to align the strands, to pull them higher up a bit so the hairs are aligned. But sometimes we don't. So it really depends on her mood, So you'll see in the videos sometimes she does pulls the hair a bit up and aligns the hair to the top, but sometimes she doesn't. And also sometimes she cuts the top portion, unaligned portion. Well, there is not much waste of the hair. I know some people might think it's a waste of hair. We have checked a few times, I would say many times. You don't lose a lot of hair. You could align the hair to top and waste like tons of hours of your time. So we do really see at the situation. If the hair is really badly aligned, then we just cut it. If the hair is really badly aligned to the top, then we just take the long tip as you see in here, and then we just cut the tip from the top at the end. If the hair is well aligned, then we try to keep the tip height as short as possible. So day one, we washed the hair. I haven't showed it on here because I have made washing hair videos in my previous submissions, so you can see them easily. There is nothing special there. So washing hair is pretty simple, so I didn't include it in this video. Once we washed the hair, we left it for drying for like a day or two, and then we start tipping them. So in day one we tipped like just like 10 ounces of hair, and then later on we will be doing more and more tips. I will be videoing them so you can see it. Overall, we used slightly more than a kilo of hair in order to get 1,000 tips of keratin flat tip hairs. So that means each tip is approximately about 1 gram. So 1,000 gram is 1 kilo. When you are placing an order for keratin granules, you might sometimes find them in different colors. Honestly, I prefer white ones, but however, as far as I know, there is not much difference between white and yellow and brownish and etc. And even black ones do exist. They all have the same property. However, and the strengths, the holding, the curing properties are almost the same. It's just the color, they've got different colors. So sometimes I do use yellow ones. Rarely I use other colors, but mostly I do prefer white ones because they are more like, transparent. It's, suitable with blondes, it's suitable with light browns and, virgin natural dark hairs. So yeah, white keratin granules are, mostly used ones. You always need to detangle your hair bundles before they are being tipped and then afterwards. So when you are detangling your hair, you usually start from the bottom and then slightly moving towards upwards to the root area. And also keep in mind, when you are detangling the hair, when you are brushing and combing the hair afterwards, after you've done your tipping, you might be getting some hair strands, shedding. Well, it's not, well, how to explain? Well, actually, it's not shedding, it's just, the hair is falling from the bundle. Those hair strands which are not glued. So sometimes you have hair hanging around inside the bundle. Those hairs is gonna fall out because the glue, the tip, the keratin is not gonna touch them, it's not gonna hold them. They're just hanging around somewhere inside the bundle, in the middle maybe, or slightly upper or lower levels, you know what I mean. So those hairs are usually coming out from the bundle at the end when you are detangling them, when you are combing them. And every virgin hair has some tiny short hairs which needs to be removed before you color the hair, before you bleach the hair, before you tip the hair, before you even wash the hair. It's better, it's always recommended to remove those short hairs, those tiny hairs from the top, from the bundles. It's always recommended. You don't want those short hairs inside the bundle. Above here, as you see, she's installing a tip, flat tip on the human head. It's just simple. It's you grab very tiny bit of hair and then attach the flat tip right on it and then melt the keratin, and then that's it. There you go. They both stick together, and this way you have extended the hair with the flat tip hair. By the way, you see some virgin hairs on the table and some blonde hairs on the table. And yes, we do sell those hairs to clients. So if you have some orders on those hairs, please let us know. So this is day 2. We now started making the rest of the tips. You also see the blondes on the table. So it's usually the same thing over and over. You start with tipping the hair, then detangling the hair, and then combing out the ones that are unglued. So you just remove those hairs which are flying around inside the bundle. The rest is gonna be much shortened. There is no point to show you the same thing over and over. Hope you all enjoyed it so far, and let me show you the rest now. The whole thing is gonna take about 4 days. We usually tip about 10 ounces of hair per day, which is about just below 300 grams. You know, you would need slightly more than 1 kilo of hair in order to get 1,000, tips, which is about 1 kilo when it's tipped. These long tips, as I told you, they have widths of 5 millimeters, but the height is really long. So we're gonna adjust them at the end in day 4. For now, I will further shorten the video. You've probably seen enough of this gluing, tipping the hair part, and see you in a bit then. So this is now day 4. As you see, we have now tipped all the hair bundles, and now it's time to adjust the tip dimensions. As previously I told you many times that we kept the width of each tip 5 millimeters. Now we would have to adjust its height. So it's pretty simple. You just need to be cutting from the top and then leave the square tip height 5 millimeters and the width, as it's already made, 5 millimeters. Let's do it now. So by now we have cut all the extensions. We made the glue portion square, 5 to 5 millimeters, and it's done now. There's one thing left. We would just need to clean the hair. Sometimes you will have hair strands falling out from the bundle, not from the tipped hair. So let's clean all the hair, comb it one more time, and that's it. It's ready. And this is 1000 flat tips and the weight is 1 kilo. Thank you so much.